Hey insiders, welcome back to the booth, and it's kind of time for the main event. This is my third time recording this video because for some reason my video files keep getting corrupted. So I'm going to try to fly through this in hopes that it doesn't happen again and it sticks. So we have the Neumann U87ai. We have the Roswell Mini k87. And there is the United Studio Technologies microphone that I'm going to do in the next one because they deserve a seat at the table from what I gathered from doing the tube mic shootouts. So, anyways, the Mini K87 has been making a lot of noise in a good way. In the last year in the voiceover community. Why? Because this is $3,800, $3,749 or whatever, and this is $459. And it's holding its own, evidently. And a lot of sound engineers out there on the West Coast aren't doing a great job telling the difference. In the last two runs, I can hear a difference, and you should be able to hear a difference and when I do the swap between the two. But the shootout that got me to do this, I could barely hear a difference until I got the stems downloaded from that shootout and really did some critical listening. In my mic pre, which is the Cranbourne Audio Camden 500. The mics do sound a bit different, but my space is different. What I have found with this beautiful U87. Now the U87 is arguably the most sought after voiceover mic ever. And for a voice profile like mine, the TLM 103 comes up second. I didn't like the TLM 103. And the more I thought about it, I started to wonder why. And I think a lot of it comes down to the space. And, this mic doesn't belong in a box. And what I mean, it doesn't belong in a 4x4 or a 4x6 or a 4x8 box. I think these belong in a big open studio space where you have the talent is there in that space, and then on the other side of the glass you have an engineer that is playing with faders and preamps and all sorts of beautiful toys to make you sound majestic and fantastic. And these microphones are made to let them play with that stuff, to make you sound that way. And these microphones are perfect for that. And this sounds good. It sounds great. The last couple things that I've recorded with it in the last 2 weeks have been great. Does it sound better than my Loughton Atlantis that I use for character work? Not in this space. I don't think so. Not in my space. It sounds good, but I don't think it sounds better. Does it sound better than my Lewitt for doing promo reads? I don't think it does. But that's just my space, my voice, my mics. Your mileage may vary. What's right for my voice in my space is not what will be right for your voice in your space. These videos are designed to be educational, and if you hear something that you think will work great for your voice, you go right ahead and you do your thing. I don't like using shotgun mics, and people love using shotgun mics. I'm not here to tell you not to use something, unless there's something absolutely god awful, that's catastrophic. Then I'll tell you not to use something. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to help shed light on things and maybe help you along your way. They don't pay me to do these things. No one pays me to do these things. If I want to keep something, I have to pay to keep it. And that goes for this or the Colaris that I did a video for a little earlier. So let's play. I'm going to read 2 lines of copy, just a promo script, and I'm going to switch between the 2 mics. And then the next video will be between the Mini K87 and the United Studio Tech mic that I have here in the booth. All right, here we go. There is a story behind every airline. Watch the show to know the full story. Airline premieres Monday, only on A&E. There is a story behind every airline. Watch the show to know the full story. Airline premieres Monday, only on A&E. There is a story behind every airline. Watch the show to know the full story. Airline premieres Monday, only on A&E. There is a story behind every airline. Watch the show to know the full story. Airline premieres Monday, only on A&E. There is a story behind every airline. Watch the show to know the full story. Airline premieres Monday, only on A&E. So, I mean, with like I had mentioned earlier, the promo that I had heard, I think the mic pre might be different because the tonal things that I had heard were different, were reversed. The U87 was warmer, but I had to really, really listen for it. And the Mini K87 had a little bit more top end and a little more pronounced mids. And with this, the U87 is a little brighter. And the Mini K87 has a little bit more warmth to it and is a little bit more, it has that kind of mid-forward bit to it, which is kind of nice and kind of punchy, and I like it. And I can absolutely understand how this little fella is making waves, making big waves in the voiceover community. I get it. I absolutely get it. And I might need to keep it. But they do it in all sorts of neat colors. And I want one in a flat olive green, and they do one in a matte black grill. I'm a sucker for that. I love that you can do them in all sorts of different colors. And the price is really good. I mean, $459 for a mic that kind of really gets you in the realm. Now, they say it's not a clone. They don't do clones. What they do on purpose is do their capsules to recreate tonal characteristics of the originals. So this is the U87ai, which is the modern recreation. So it's not it's not a vintage U87. It's a modern U87. It's not the same as a vintage U87. The vintage U87, for the many, many thousands of dollars that you would have to spend on one, is definitely not going to sound the same as an AI. Keeping that in mind, this is, I mean, yeah, I get it. And having a nice low self noise, it's only 11 dB. It's right there with the TLM 103, which I think is either 10 or I think it's 10 or 11 itself. It might even be 12. So it's right there in that realm. With something like this, why even bother with a TLM series? And they kind of do, instead of a mini K87, you could do a mini K67. They have a couple different mics in that series. So if you're not a 103 style user, you could be a 102 style user. They have a couple different mics in the series, and then they have step ups like the Kalaras, which I did another video for earlier today. Another awesome mic, which is a step up from this. They call it the Big Brother. It's got a bit more oomph to it, which I put up against an Elam 251, which is like a $13,000 microphone. And, you know, while it didn't have that tube warmth to it, it was pretty dang comparable as far as like tonal, some characteristics. But it's not a clone. It's about tonal characteristics, not cloning. And that was something that they could not stress enough. And I am also kind of carrying that torch. But that's what I got for this. Troy, I know Troy Holden was waiting for this. It's got my stamp of approval. If people were waiting for this, up against the U87, I'd say go for it. I've got nothing bad to say about this mic. For voiceover, it's got that kind of like that mid push to it. If you've got a tenor, like a tenor voice, I would say if you've got like a baritone or a bass voice, it might be a bit much. But if you're like an alto tenor, man, go for it. I got nothing bad. All right. See you on the inside.